coming up on News Live at 6, Remembrance Week at Syracuse University, how the Act Forward Symposium is honoring victims who died 36 years ago.
Plus, a former employee accusing the Cicero town supervisor of sexual harassment, how town officials are responding tonight.
And Governor Kathy Hochul announces 2 new legislations. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Welcome into News Live at 6 on this Thursday night. It's great to have you along with us. I'm Ronnie Parrillo.
And I'm Ilana Epstein.
We begin tonight with breaking news in the Menendez brothers case. Los Angeles County DA George Gascon is recommending the brothers case be resentenced. Gascon's decision will now go to a judge to decide if they will be released from prison, given a lesser sentence, or get a new trial. Eric and Lyle Menendez have been in jail for more than 30 years after being convicted for the murder of their parents.
This year marks the 36th anniversary of the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland. Remembrance and Lockerbie scholars at Syracuse University have planned events and activities all week to remember the 270 people who lost their lives in the tragedy. And
tonight, an Act Forward Symposium is being held at Gifford Auditorium. Our own Riley Fay is at the event with the details. Good evening, Riley.
Thanks, Ilana and Ronnie. I'm live from HBC with Kelly Radotsky, the Senior Communications Manager for the Lockerbie Scholarship. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Kelly. I'm wondering what activities are going on at the symposium tonight?
So the Act Forward Symposium is going to feature our Act Forward projects, which is a new addition to the Remembrance Scholar Experience. And these projects are focused on really taking Act Forward and moving it into a really positive and meaningful direction for our campus and for the greater community. So we have 7 groups that are working on projects. They're anything from promoting civil discourse to grief and mourning to public monuments and memory, things that have come because of this tragedy, and how can we continue to educate our campus community about this in meaningful ways. So tonight will kind of be a preview of what the students are working on, and there will be more to come. In the spring there will be a full symposium with the actual results of their projects.
That's amazing that they're going to follow through with that. So why does SU use the phrase "look back, act forward" for Remembrance Week?
Our remembrance mission is twofold. It's to honor those that we lost, to remember them, to remember their contributions to our community and to our world, but also to take what happened and move it forward in a positive way and continue to educate about this tragedy and the implications of it. And today's students weren't born by almost 2 decades when this tragedy happened. So we're continuing to draw lessons from it and make it relevant for today's students and our members of our community.
Absolutely. So the symposium tonight, is that the first one that they've ever done for Remembrance Week?
Yes, this is a new addition to our Remembrance Scholar Experience this year, so this will be the first year.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Now, the event tonight is from 7 to 8 p.m., and then there's a celebration of life in HBC from 8 to 9 p.m. Back to you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, Riley, thanks so much. Such an important week here at SU. The former secretary to Cicero Town Supervisor Michael Aragano is accusing him of sexual harassment. Now, in a town board meeting last night, the former secretary made her first public appearance since filing that affidavit. Our reporter Drew Matiasik, was at the fiery meeting last night. He spoke with town officials about the allegations.
It's been around a month since Natalie Van Epp signed her affidavit in which she accused Supervisor Michael Aragano of verbal abuse and sexual harassment in the workplace.
I would be terrified every day coming in. Felt like living in hell.
Yesterday, Van Epps went to the meeting to talk to Aragano face to face.
I'm not afraid anymore, and I hope that what you do and your decision is right for others and for everyone else here.
When given the opportunity to apologize, Supervisor Aragano claimed he'd had nothing to apologize for and instead pinned the blame on his fellow council members, saying that they are co-conspiring with Van Epps to create a conspiracy against him because of his previous votes.
The allegations here are not true. Even if true, which they're not, this is not the proper place to address or make any personal attacks on anyone, whether the board members or residents. All of this is contrived by the board members, that they are trying to bully me into voting with them on issues that are not in the best interest of the town of Cicero.
In response, this is what Councilman Jonathan Karp had to say.
He essentially accused us of a criminal conspiracy because Ms. Van Epps filed an affidavit, which is a sworn document, so that would be perjury. And he accused us of conspiring to get her to commit perjury, which is in itself ridiculous. But the more ridiculous part of what he said was that we were trying to bully him into voting with us. But the four of us constitute a supermajority. We already have the ability to pass any legislation of any kind. Nothing requires a unanimous vote.
Van Epps' lawyer, Robert George, also took the stand to speak to Aragano face-to-face.
I want to begin by first saying that Supervisor Aragano, you can threaten me and my family all you want, but you will not silence me. Supervisor Aragano, I am going to give you the opportunity right here, right now, to apologize to Natalie. What am I apologizing for? Yeah,
I can tell you tonight his claim that the allegations were false, in my opinion, is defamation and slander, and Natalie and I will be reviewing that possibility.
CitrusTV reached out to Supervisor Aragano for comment, but heard no response. The Cicero Town Board is still continuing their investigation into Supervisor Aragano. Live outside Cicero Town Hall, I'm Drew Matiasik with CitrusTV News.
Drew, thank you so much. Now, Ronnie, I have to say, the weather this week, it's been too warm for me. We woke up today, It was a lot colder. It actually felt like fall, and I was genuinely so happy about it.
It finally did, and if you've walked around campus, you can see those trees changing color. I mean, just beautiful. A beautiful array of orange and yellow, and it's just been absolutely gorgeous. Red as well. But I didn't know if I was in central New York or Florida, for the first half of the week and the weekend. Here to tell us more if that summer weather will return is Jackson Breslin.
Yeah, Ronnie, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous of the other weather anchors this week. It's been so nice out, and then today it's cold and gray. 48 degrees at the moment and partly cloudy with 9-mile-per-hour winds, so it is really chilly out. And taking a look at the temperatures around the region, well, it's pretty cold just about everywhere. Elmira is the warmest at 52, followed by Ithaca and Binghamton at 50. And then Cortland is the lowest at 46, with Fulton and Rome a little bit warmer at 47. Now, taking a look ahead to tonight, temperatures are going to drop down to 42 degrees. It will clear up a little bit, but as the night goes on, temperatures are going to drop down into the 30s, so it will be pretty cold. So if you're going out tonight, make sure that you bring a jacket so that it doesn't get too chilly. That's all I have for now. Ronnie and Ilana, I'll send it back to you.
Jackson, thank you. Scotia police are opening an investigation on state assembly candidate Joe Mastriani after he was accused of stealing campaign mail. Doorbell camera footage allegedly shows the Rotterdam Town Board member removing a political mailer out of a mailbox, folding it up and putting it in his jacket. Mastriani has been asked to cease campaign activities and resign from the town board. When asked about the incident, he said, quote, "For obvious reasons, I will not comment on this specific story."
New York State is giving about $100 million in grants to free and low-cost after-school programs. This continues one of Governor Kathy Hochul's initiatives to expand affordable childcare. Now, Central New York is receiving $6.4 million of that money, spread throughout 18 locations. Now, in her announcement, the governor emphasized the importance of after-school programs. She says they offer educational and creative outlets to kids while also supporting families.
Governor Hochul is also expanding opportunities for college applicants. She announced the SUNY Top 10% Promise program. It promises New York high school students graduating in the top 10% of their class direct admission to SUNY campuses. The program will begin with seniors enrolling for the fall 2025 semester. The first 9 campuses to participate include SUNY ESF, SUNY Oneonta, and SUNY Polytechnic Institute.
Moving back to central New York now, the town of Clay is proposing new plans as Micron breaks ground right here in our region. Our reporter Chloe Breeze is at Clay Town Hall, with those details. Chloe?
Thanks, guys. I'm currently at Clay Town Hall, where they are hosting an open house for residents and officials to discuss future planned projects for the town of Clay. Residents can stop by the open house to look at future map plans and weigh in on the decisions for the proposal. In the incoming Micron era, a proposal was announced outlining creation of a town center development in the north central section of Clay. The development plans to create more housing, office, and entertainment spaces in the next 10 to 15 years of the land use study. The meeting is currently happening until 7 p.m. tonight. Reporting from Clay, I'm Chloe Breeze, Citrus TV News.
Chloe, thank you so much. The New York Liberty are finally WNBA champions. This marks the team's first ever championship in 28 seasons. Thousands lined the streets of New York City today to celebrate. The Liberty beat the Minnesota Lynx in Game 5 of the WNBA Finals on Sunday. The final score was 67-62. And Syracuse native Breanna Stewart was one of the players who helped lead the team to victory. This is the Big Apple's first basketball title since 1973.
I think universities are fundamentally about free speech. I think they have to be the places where you can talk about anything.
Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, a Citrus TV exclusive interview with Vice Chancellor Gretchen Ritter as she addresses campus civil discourse.
Plus, the first debate in the New York U.S. Senate race, tensions rising between the candidates here in the Empire State. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now,
we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement. So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault,
Then the funds. Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Ronnie Parrillo, Ilana Epstein, and Jackson Breslin. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News live at 6. Well, here at Syracuse University, the school kicked off its Life Together series on Tuesday night, where the school hosted a community conversation for election season and beyond over at Goldstein Auditorium.
That's right, and our Ben Bassick sat down with head organizer Vice Chancellor Gretchen Ritter last night and spoke with her about campus civil discourse and free speech. Hey, Ben.
Hey guys, thank you. Yeah, my conversation last night began with a discussion surrounding the event, but quickly turned to the university's treatment of free speech right here on campus.
So we had over 325 people participate in the event. That included a moderated conversation between a Republican and Democratic strategist, and then facilitated table conversations. We wanted them to think about how we get beyond political polarization.
I do want to just ask specifically in the past year, kind of what we've seen on campus as a whole. I mean, protests related to conflict in the Middle East, hundreds of employees rallying over fair wages and arrests over anti-Semitism. These are touchy topics, of course. And people are going to have disagreements on them, rightfully so. So why is this new approach different compared to what we've seen before?
So Syracuse University has a strong commitment to free speech. All rights always have limits, right? And they have limits when they cross the line into harm. So we're not just telling people where the guardrails are, we're helping them figure out how to express themselves on the things that they're passionate about in ways that can convey to a broader audience. Let us help you find a way to be heard that is respectful where you can disagree without necessarily being disagreeable.
I just want to take up one specific instance.
Sure.
This month, college Republicans brought January 6th insurrectionist Brandon Straka to campus, and Syracuse College Democrats responded saying that this is not what Syracuse stands for, this is irresponsible and disrespectful to our education and the nation. Is condemning speakers the path toward that civil dialogue?
I would encourage the campus Republicans to think about, is this the best speaker? Would they do better with someone who might be able to convey that point in a fashion that can be heard by more people? And I would also say to the campus Democrats, criticize him, ask him questions, don't cancel him, but show up, listen, and ask pointed and constructive questions.
The full interview covered a range of topics from campus protests to the Middle East to employers rallying for fair wages and arrest over anti-Semitism. It can be found on our YouTube channel. Back to you guys.
The latest now, the race for the New York Senate seat is heating up. Democratic incumbent Kirsten Gillibrand and Republican candidate Mike Sapercone debated for the first time last night. The debate got heated after the candidates were asked for their opinion on Proposition 1. Take a listen.
I will vote yes on Proposition 1. Make sure you turn over the ballot and vote yes on Prop 1. I believe in equality. I believe women in this country deserve equal rights.
That's not what this amendment is for. That's not what this proposition is for. It's called an equal rights amendment. And what it's about is that you're going to let an 8-year-old decide if they have the right to change what they are from male to female or female to male.
You're absolutely wrong.
Now, that debate also addressed inflation, immigration, and public safety, all pertinent issues here in New York State. Recent polling has Gillibrand up by 26 points. The incumbent has represented New York State in the U.S. Senate since 2009.
And coming up on News Live at 6, I'll have your full 5-day forecast and some of the trendiest Halloween costumes over the past years. Stick with us.
Welcome to my house. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The walls were closing in. Clearly a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It could help you find a little more breathing room.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Live at 6. Taking a look at your 5-day forecast, we're going to be seeing those fall temperatures in central New York once again. 61 degrees tomorrow, and then going into the weekend, going to get a little bit cooler, 54 on Saturday, 55 on Sunday with a low of 30. So it is going to get pretty cool. Now, as we head into the week, temperatures will stay about the same. Monday has a high of 54, but then Tuesday we start to see that weather warm up a little bit, 64 degrees on Tuesday with a low of 55. And that's good news because as we're getting closer to Halloween, you'll be able to show off those Halloween costumes. So I figured that it was time to take a look back and see what the trendiest costumes have been for the past couple of years. So last year, of course, it had to be Barbie. Everyone was talking about the movie. Everybody was dressing up as Barbie. The year before, we went classic, went with Witch. It's simple, it's easy, and it's been around for quite a long time. But in 2021, well, everyone was talking about Squid Game, so everyone was dressing up as characters from the show. I've never seen it, but I didn't dress up as it, but I know that a lot of people did. And in 2020, well, Fortnite was at its peak. You had people dressing up as characters from the game all the time. And in 2019, well, It Chapter 2 is coming out, so Pennywise the Clown, everyone was dressing up as him. But that's all I have for now. Ronnie and Ilana, I'll send it back to you.
And you are going to want to watch Live at 6 next week. I'm just telling you, that's all I'll say. Speaking of Halloween, most people, you're carving pumpkins, right? You're eating Kit Kats. Me, I'm eating too many Kit Kats. But some people, they're launching those pumpkins.
Ronnie, I'm also eating too many Kit Kats.
Yeah.
But just 90 minutes outside Syracuse in Clayton is a competition you probably haven't heard of. Our reporter Zach Nemirovsky has more on this unusual event.
Teamwork, an announcer, 8,000 in the stands, physical exertion, on the surface, pumpkin chunking may not seem like a sport.
Well, coming up on sports, Citrus TV is live on site in Pittsburgh for Syracuse football's matchup against number 19 Pitt. I'll have all the details next on sports.
They took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome to Acrisure Stadium here in Pittsburgh, where Syracuse football is set to be number 19 Pitt in a key marquee matchup in primetime on Thursday night. I'm Sam Corcoran, your Citrus TV reporter for this game. Syracuse looking to make a bowl game with this win. 6 wins means bowl eligibility, and if they want to do that, they'll need quarterback Kyle McCord to do what he's done all season, have another 300-yard game, 6 games and 6 games with 300 yards for the senior. And head coach Pat Narduzzi at Pitt says he's been super impressed with McCord's performances thus far.
Kyle McCord is a tremendous football player.
If you're not a Pitt fan, if you're not a Syracuse fan, but you're a quarterback fan, you should get your tickets now because that guy's going to play in the National Football League. He will be the best quarterback that's walked in to play us in this stadium in a while. So.
Some major news for McCord before the game. Wide receiver Trevor Pena, who's questionable entering this one. One of his top targets is available for this game. He'll be on the field, suited up for SU. Now, not only does Syracuse have a good quarterback, Pitt has one as well. The redshirt freshman Eli Holstein, who sits top 5 in touchdowns and passing yards amongst ACC quarterbacks. And not to mention, he's got a slew of weapons himself. Running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, you name it. Head coach Fran Brown says it's a lot for his defense to work with.
And Holstein, he's just he a playmaker. He kills you with his legs, or he can do the same thing throwing. He does a real good job, and he has a bunch of receivers to go to. When you look at Mumphrey, you got 9, 2, 5. The tight end 86 is really good. 87, also 11. So they got a lot of players when it comes to just their passing game.
Well, luckily for Syracuse tonight, they're getting a major boost on defense. Marlo Wax, who was out with a lower body injury since week 1, is back on the field tonight. He was just behind me doing some warm-ups. So a major boost for Syracuse to get one of, if not their best defensive player back in the game. But a lot at stake tonight. Pitt looking to go 7-0 for the first time since 1982. Meanwhile, Syracuse looking for bowl eligibility. Ronnie and Ilana, I'll send it back to you guys in studio.
So, Sam, it's your freshman year roommate here. What I want to ask you about, this is great. What I want to ask you about, though, Pitt's undefeated, SU's 5-1. What are the odds looking like tonight?
Yeah, Ronnie, it's going to be a close game. The line right now is Pitt -6. I think Vegas got it right that it's going to be a 1-point game. Should be a very tight battle. Two very evenly matched teams on offense, some of the best in the ACC. Defense, middle of the pack, so it should be a bloodbath in this one.
Sam, one more quick question here. I believe this is the second game Syracuse has played outside this season. The sunset looks beautiful. What are the vibes like? How many Syracuse fans are there? How many Pitt fans are there?
Ilana, I saw a lot of Pitt fans walking into the stadium. Not a lot of orange just yet. But earlier today, drove by Pitt's campus. It was hopping. There was a pep rally, fans chanting. Sports Center was there for ESPN. So the vibes are electric for this one. It should be a fun one. We'll see more Syracuse fans show up. But Panther Nation really showing out early on.
Electric vibes out there in Pittsburgh, and of course, here in the Citrus TV News studios. Thanks so much, Sam. We will have one last look at your wake-up weather after the break.
We'll be right back.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Taking a look at your wake-up weather, it's going to be pretty cold when you're first getting up. 37 degrees around 8 a.m., but then as we go through the day, 46 degrees at 10 a.m., and then when the sun really starts to come out at noon, 54 degrees. It should be a pretty cool, but it will be a nice day. Partly cloudy, but highs in the low 60s. Should be a nice one, guys.
Jackson, looking forward to those temperatures. Well, Taylor Swift fans, listen up. The Syracuse Crunch is partnering with Fan Cave Tickets to hold an Eras Tour night where 2 lucky fans could get tickets to her show in Toronto.
Yeah, that's right, Ilana. The Upstate Medical University Arena will turn into a Taylor Swift pit stop. The Crunch will play Taylor Swift music and host a friendship bracelet station. Era's Tour Night will be next Saturday, November 2nd.
All right, I have to ask you guys real quick, which Taylor Swift era do you guys think you are?
I didn't even know these era things were actually real.
So it's like an album. So
what do
you said
think?
country, right?
I said country, the
He
first
likes country, so I'm thinking Speak Now.
Okay.
My favorite was always 1989, so I'm going to go with that one.
1989. I'm going to go with Red for fall vibes.
There we go. Well, that is Citrus TV News, live at 6 for this Thursday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now, for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Ilana Epstein.
And I'm Ronnie Parrillo. Have a great night, Syracuse.